Springtime. Day number 2 of spring, or 3? I don't know, but it's beautiful out today. 60 degrees, 65 maybe. Rachel said she saw some bees flying around, and I thought to myself, get your swarm traps put up in the tree. Now is the time. There are, usually in most places where people live, there's plenty of wild bees out and about that are always looking for a new home. And if you provide them with a home that looks better than the tree that they found down the street, they're gonna move in. I have some drawn comb from last year's bees, some of which even has, yeah, this one doesn't. One of these do. Yeah, this one even has a lot of honey. So what better home could you ask for than one that's already stocked with food? So swarm traps, or bait hives as some people call them. I built these boxes about, oops, I think I'm getting honey all over me. I built these boxes 2 years ago or 3 years ago. When I first made them, the entrance was right about here, and the whole box was about this tall. I ended up adding on another 5 inches at the bottom of just hollow dead space. There's nothing in there. Moved the entrance hole down there, added some hardware cloth because the we have those little, like, tiny little sparrows around here, and they kept flying in there to turn my bee home into a bird home. And it's worked out well. I think last year, I don't remember if I caught 1 swarm or 2. I think maybe 2. So they work well now after the improvements that I made. I'll link the video when I made the original one as well as the enhancement video. I'll link both of those down below. But with 5 frames all drawn out, some of them with honey, the next step is to give them some bait, some scent. They need something to attract them, to make them think, hey, this is a good home. Lemongrass oil works really well. You can also use, there's some commercially available stuff called like Swarm Commander, I think. I've never used it. I've gotten by just fine every year with lemongrass oil. What I'll do is I'll take a Q-tip, put a couple drops of it on there, and then drop it down in, usually on the side opposite the entrance over here. So it's not super strong by the time it gets over here, but it's enough to attract the bees. So we'll do the same with this one. You really only need like a drop or so. And what I'll do is I'll get these hung up in the tree. I'll take you guys along for that part. And what I'll do is maybe every week, week and a half, every 2 weeks, I'll come through with a fresh Q-tip with some new oil, and I'll just shove it in the little hole. They don't always end up on the opposite side at that point because I can't really reach, and I'm not going to take it down and take the lid off just to do that. The lids kind of just go on like so, and then I put a screw in each side just to hold it down, and then we'll get these hung up in the tree and put some straps on it. I like to strap them down to the tree with just a little ratchet strap, because if you got a colony of bees that are checking out this place, is like, hey, do we want this to be our new home? If the thing's blown in the wind and bang it against the tree, they're probably not going to like it. So strap them down to your tree. That way you got a good, secure, stable home for them. Refrigerator's already stocked. There's some honey in there. So we should be all set. I do owe you guys an explanation of last year's bees. When we went into fall last year before winter, I had 5 colonies. 2 of them I knew for sure were weak. I knew they were very weak, in fact. The other 3, I felt pretty good about them. I went through the same process I normally do every year. I gave them some Mountain Camp sugar, quilt boxes, weather roofs to keep the rain off, snow guards in the front. And I owe you guys an answer, I guess, on how my bees did. Do they survive the winter? Of the 5, how many made it? But I'm going to save that for a different video because it's a longer discussion that we need to have. It's brought about some pretty deep thoughts, I guess, on beekeeping and what I like about beekeeping and what I really absolutely hate about beekeeping. So I'm going to share that with you guys in a different video. We'll take the camera, we'll go out back, we'll check things out, and I'll share with you how the bees survived over winter. But for now, let's get these swarm traps, bait hives set up in the tree, see if we can catch us some bees. It's heavier when they got honey in them. Whoa! You guys almost saw me wipe. I'm pretty sure this is the one I caught the swarm in last year. So I always get asked the question, so I'll answer it here. From a directional standpoint, I always face my boxes to the south. That way the sun hits them, it warms them up better. At least that's my thought process. I don't speak bee, so I haven't really been able to ask them what they prefer, but it's been working well for me so far. 2 swarms last year, 0 the year before, so it is what it is when it comes to beekeeping, right? See you guys on the next one.